Oh man, your mod is so big.
Welcome back, guys, to TC Vape Reviews. You can find me at TC Vape Reviews and Facebook. Anyways, to keep up with my promises, I did promise a review on the ITaste SvD. Alright guys, so here's the ITaste SvD. This is a variable voltage mod. This can take 18650s, 18350s, and it has an extension tube that goes all the way up, some good threads, and all the way out. There's the end. Alright, so my first impression on this was that it looks very slick. It's got a very nice little lightsaber-ish look to it. I kind of think like this would be something the Jedi would carry. Maybe the 134 would be something that the Darth Vader would be running around. It is well made. There was one little deal that I did not like about the structure of it, and I'm going to show that to you right now because that's what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, okay, so here is the threads. If you see here, I'm going to grab something nifty and sharp and pointy. These threads only go down about 1/4 of an inch to almost maybe a 1/2 inch. Okay? The problem with the threads only going that far, and hopefully ITaste, Innokin will be listening someday, is that when you thread this on, it really doesn't give a lot of base for the extension tube, and you get this wobble. Now that does come out a little bit when you do put a battery in it, and I'm going to use an eFest 18650. And just so you know, there's the eFest. Alright, put that in. Go ahead and take off this end piece. Thread that on. Use my cap. And then just snug it down. Now, the main thing about extension tubes, even on an electronic mod, that is variable voltage, variable wattage, you can still tighten that battery down too much and puncture the casing. That is not good. You can damage your battery. So when you tighten this down, snug is all you need. Now that play is gone, but I can still wiggle that. If they extended down those threads some, that would have been a lot better. But other than that, I found this to be really good. It has the venting, which is very important, on the bottom in case you have catastrophic battery failure, and the top has a slight air leak. Typically if air can go through there, so can liquid. So once again, just like on the Cool Fire, if you have a leaky tank, I don't know, let's say a Kanger unit tank. Hey, sorry Kanger. Truth is the truth. If it's leaky, it starts to leak, you need to immediately take that tank off, fix it, do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure it's not leaking down into there. Juice on top of these electronic boards would not be good and will shorten the life of your mod. Now this mod is not that expensive as far as the world of mods, and taking into account that there's mods out there for $300-400. And there's mods out there for $50. This guy lands somewhere in the middle. I would say, for me, a good price tag on this would be somewhere in the $80 to $100 range. It will not do sub-ohms. It does have an ohm meter on it, but let's show you a little bit about this guy. So it's just like the rest of the Innokin ITaste line. 3, and it is on, and it tells you we're on. 3 times, flashing light, and it tells you you're off. So I'm going to turn this back on. 1, 2, 3. Hope that's not upside down. And then here you have the display screen. A little button with a minus sign next to it, and a little button right here with a plus sign next to it. And also there's some really nice etching in here. It looks like some laser etching that gives you some other things, such as between the fire button and the plus button you have a PM, which I would imagine is meaning power. And then here we have a line between these 2 silver buttons which says O, or I'm sorry, the ohm sign, and D. And then next to the negative button leading up to the fire button we have VM. So what I'm going to assume that VM means is voltage manual and power manual, meaning manually adjust. So the way this works, I just turned it off because I'm, just me, gotta make things hard. So we're on. One nice thing I did like about this, which I wish they would continue to do with their other products, like the VTR, this would have been really nice, a lock feature. So right now it's telling me it's locked. The way to get out of that is you hold it, and yep, that's my ohm reading. Now it's giving me my wattage. Now it's off. Once it goes all the way through, click it again, and now we can adjust. Alright? Now, this right now is set up on wattage. Obviously, we're not going to be running 10 volts. How high can it go? 15 watts is the max, and it is a round robin. So if I hit plus again, we go back to 3, the minimum wattage. Most things that I would vape on something like this, I'm usually between 7 and 8 anyways. Sometimes 10. Like if I'm using my Kraken looks pretty slick on it. This particular mod, when I purchased it, came with an iClear 30, the original iClear 30, with all the glorious wicks. I think it's like 16 wicks on it. I don't have it with me because I have some people who are trying to quit smoking, and I was being nice and letting them use it because that's what this is all about. It looks really nice with the Kraken on it though. It looks really good with the Conn. I think it's 21 millimeter instead of the 22. So I mean, it does kind of come out a little bit when you put something on it, but 1 millimeter difference. You probably can't tell the difference, but if I did this right here, you probably can. It vapes well. I've not had any issues with any misfires or anything like that. Every time you hit the button, it lights up. Mentioning the lighting up part, green would be that you have a fully charged battery, yellow would mean you're halfway out, and red means, oh damn, find me another battery quick. Alright, so let's continue on with our little menu here. So now we want to go and check our ohms. And I believe that's a 0.9, let's see here. 0.9. And I just locked it because I held it too long. So we're going to go back through, it's going to give us 0.9. And then it's going to go out right there. Now I'm going to take that all the way up. And I'm trying to read this backwards to, let's do 10. So basically a 1 ohm coil, I'm going to vape it at 10. Now this is a Kraken, so it's probably going to put out more vapor than, you know, your standard Pro Tank or whatever. Let's find out. Puts out a good vape on the Kraken. I've not had any issues with anything not wanting to work on this. The little positive pin in here is somewhat springy, so it does give for those items of 510s that need to go down further. It will hold your standard clearomizer. You take off the little beauty ring that has 2 holes for ventilation, so you can get airflow. And let's say we put on our iClear 16, which is also made by Innokin. Put that guy on. It fits on there nicely. Nothing blocking the holes for airflow. And this guy is 1.6 ohms. And so I know for a fact that I like this one right around 8.5. We'll see what that does. I forgot all about that one. That is dark honey, and it is delicious. So anyways, that's really good too. So yes, it has the ego threads, and this tank is a little bit leaky because it has been sitting up there for a while. Surprised I was brave enough to try it. Q-tip, getting out the juice, getting out the juice. If you want to know what I use to get the juice out, Q-tip, cotton Q-tip. Sucks it right up. Bam. Alrighty. So, put my beauty ring back on. Looks good with just about everything. Let's go on with the rest of the menu options. So, the next option would be hold this button here. 1, 2, and then the power button at the same time. Now it's telling us that that's power mode. See the little PO? Now we're going to go here, 1, 2, power button, and then we should get volts. Alright, now we're in voltage mode. Now, if you have, just for those who might think that it works this way, if you have it set for 10 watts and then you go to voltage and crank up your volts, it is not going to stay at the 10 watts. It's going to go based off your voltage and your multiplier with your ohms reading. So let's go to ease of vaping is wattage. I don't even really understand why any other products will come out with actual voltage. If somebody could tell me why and inform myself and the rest of the people who possibly watch this video, that's great. But in my opinion, variable wattage is really all we need. We need to know how much watts in the end is coming out, and we can adjust that. Most people aren't going to be going driving down the road, pulling up an ohms calculator and putting in the information going, I want to be around 8 watts. When you could very easily go to the wattage setting and go to 8 watts. So, you know, maybe that might make it where Innokin, if you could get rid of that feature and make it where this maybe operates at 20 watts or even 30 watts, and maybe even provide some sub-ohm support on mods like this, you know, tubular mods. Overall, I enjoy this. This I used for about a week to 2 weeks straight before I tried something else, and it was not the mod that was the problem. The reason why I wanted to try something else, is because I do this. So I did buy this. I'm not getting paid by anybody to tell you that I like this. I genuinely like this because it worked for me, and I think it can work for you. Now, that being said, you guys who are in and out of trucks, if you watched my last video, I'd still recommend the VTR over this. It may cost a little bit more, but the reason being is I do work in and out of a van all day. I'm a locksmith by trade. That is my profession. And I dropped this with my Kangaroo Bro tank, and of course the glass broke, and luckily nothing else happened. I will say that it is very durable. This top piece is pressed in. and pressed in well, unlike some of the Vamos. So if you like the tubular style, this tends to handle a good beating quite well. I put it to the test. I've yet to have the screen get scratched, even being dropped several times. I did get a little nick at the top. You probably won't be able to see it, but it's right up in here. And a few nicks here on the bottom, and those are nicks from concrete. So I don't know many metal objects that would not get scratched up. I recommend this. I think you will enjoy it. You do need to get some batteries if you purchase this. It does not come with batteries. I recommend it in the 18650 mode. It will take a double stack of the 18350s, but something to be said on this, and I think this is up for discussion for anybody who wants to have it. The problem with stacking batteries, I'm going to go back to been a locksmith for about 5 years, but I was an electrician prior since the age of 16, and I'm now 36. I made it all the way up to the qualifying rankings of the top tier of electricians, which would be master. One thing about batteries that you should know: if you are using batteries in unison together, if you have one battery that begins to drop quicker than the other, you can cause more amperage draw on the other battery. So let's say you have a battery that is at 3.5, maybe has some dirty connections, and you have another one above it that is running at 4.2 volts. If the 4.2 is not connecting well to the 3.5, the 4.2 is going to get more draw, and it's going to have more resistance between the two batteries, causing heat. So, my opinion, don't use double stack batteries. I'm sure there's plenty of you who do, and that's by your choice. But if you're new to vaping, that might be something you want to venture with farther down the road. Those of you who do it all the time, the stats do read quite well. And if you do stack to 18350s, there is less drop on the voltage coming out the end. So when you actually hit the button, it holds true. Mr. Phil Persardo did a lovely video about this guy and showed that as well. I guess that is it about it. I like it. So for the new guys vaping, you should try it. I've lost everything. It helps to have it in your hand before you start it. I have it right here.